What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gappleton. Today we have a little bit of a change up as far as projects go. I have my buddy Taylor coming over. He is in the process of putting together an all-wheel drive Civic. He has an EG coupe that he's doing an all-wheel drive turbo K series on, and today we are going to be modifying some stock trailing arms to accept, there's a hub kit that you buy. I think you use Honda Insight hubs. He'll probably correct me once I get here. But yeah, so we are modifying those rear trailing arms to be all-wheel drive compatible. So he should be here any minute. Let's get to it. I was trying to listen for you coming because normally I see, normally I hear your truck. I can hear you come off the block.
CRV is pretty quiet.
It's stealth mode.
The truck is not stealth mode.
All right. So what do we got?
All right. So these are some stock trailing arms.
These are your EG trailing arms, correct?
Yes, out of a 94 Honda Civic. They're kind of all the same.
And this is what came in the shell?
Yep, this is what came in the shell that I bought. And these have obviously seen better days. But I've already done some prep work for these little plates that I got off a guy named David Vizcarra. He
kind of supports the community making these?
Yeah, absolutely. Some people have used them already and had some great results. So essentially this is to allow you to bolt in a hub. It's actually a front hub off of a Honda Insight. And so that'll accept an axle. So hence converting your rear trailing arms to, all-wheel drive trailing arms.
So are you said Honda Insight?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are the front Honda Insight axles bigger than what normally would come in like a rear of a CRV or something? So you get beefier rear axles?
No, they accept the CRV or wagon rear axles. So it's this is just the cheaper route other than spending, over $1,000 on the arms that you could get pre-made, which I'm sure are great, but we don't have that kind of money.
No, not when. No, I mean the all-wheel drive stuff has boomed so much in recent years. It's killer that like people are doing exactly this to support the community rather than buying aftermarket arms and stuff. Use what you have.
Yep.
With
yeah. So that's my way of keeping it a little budget friendly.
Yeah.
When you have friends like you that can weld really well, it's helpful.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it welds up. So how you align these arms with this add-on adapter plate for the hubs. So you were saying you typically just use the one bolt here.
Mm-hmm.
So one bolt. The second one actually does line up, and then the manufacturer, the guy that makes these, gives you this paper template, right? You were saying goes to that hole.
Yep.
And typically, in a typical setup, well, you can explain it.
Yeah, so he wanted you to just use the one bolt and then kind of swivel this adapter so that when this stencil is in this hole, it's flush here and flush there. But so I was talking with the guy, and what we kind of discussed was there's probably some small differences in trailing arms, even though they all work with the same, like Civics and Tegras, they're all the same, they'll bolt on, but there's probably some differences in manufacturing. So we found out, even basing off of pictures that he had, that this section right here on mine it's a little shorter than usual. So usually it's probably out like this, and here this would be flush.
So you'd expect to see more meat out here, and this would be straight across between the stencil and the arm.
Yeah, but having it like this, what James and I decided was just to use a second bolt in here, and it makes this pretty concentric to get it in a good spot to weld it up here. So that's what we're going with.
What we looked at for swiveling this out in order to get these two lines to mark up, this would actually rotate the whole plate back around this pivot point, and the wheel bolting to this old mating surface, or this mating surface, is going to be nowhere near where the old one was. That would physically push it further back in the wheel well.
Yeah.
So by doing this, using two bolt holes and keeping that same line, even though that they don't match up this way, our wheel's going to be centered off of where it would have been on the old trailing arm.
Yep. So we're both feeling more confident about that. So
yeah.
Let's get them welded.
Yeah, got her all marked out. Got to just do our prep work and fry her up.
So since this bolt would have ended up on the outside of where the trailing arm usually is closed in there, we were sent along some extra sheet metal that we can bend to follow this curvature and kind of box it in, and just give it back some more of its structural integrity.
So what was there? You actually had to cut material out.
Yeah, so this trailing arm just kind of, it met up between here.
Just straight?
Yep, just pretty much straight. But this bolt hole for our new hub
would have ran right in.
Yeah, either like run into it or be on the outside of it. So we'll just box it in. That'll keep any of this from flexing and whatnot.
So you just have to put that piece up in the vise and just kind of knock it over to match the contour of that, that
follow
plate.
this curve right up here. And yeah, should be golden.
Good deal. Should be just as strong as stock.
Yep.
Test fit.
Hot, 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 hot.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
I wonder if... Yeah, it's like it's got to say it's shifted downhill a little bit more. It's like your gap, it's like your alignment's good.
Yeah,
but there's
might have to...
You don't have enough meat over on this side.
Nope. So honestly, I'd probably cut too big of a hole, and that's on me. So we might just have to... I don't know.
Oh, we'll fill some gaps.
You got any of this stuff laying around?
I mean, if we really cared to, we could fire up the plasma table and make a new one.
Yeah.
Or I could just fill it with weld metal.
It's up to you.
Your car. We'll think on it. So I get the cool mask, and Taylor gets the, oh, I can't see. Taylor gets the Minnie Mouse special, Danielle's mask, my wife's.
I mean, I get the cool one.
They're completely full of sawdust, and I've tried shaking them upside down, but it won't come out.
That's working there, and my hands are just gonna
Spontaneously combust.
Yeah, perfect. That's okay.
Oh, you could just grab that with your hands at this point.
Yeah.
There. Okay, so do that, do that, do that, and I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. So here's how this is going. So Taylor formed this piece, this piece here. He formed it. It's hard to get exactly perfect, so what we're doing is we did one side and a little bit here, and then we're kind of molding it around to get it to fit as best as we possibly can. This would have been an absolute pain in the neck to get perfect, and Taylor did a really good job of getting super close. So this upper seam is gonna weld super, super tight, and then I'll just have to walk the bead to fill that. But when I'm done, hopefully it looks like it was a perfect fit. Ta-da! Perfect. You'd never know there's a big hole there.
Sweet so far.
Alright, show our friends at home.
Yeah.
Alright, so there's that edge we started with. Kind of massage this one around. And yeah, filled a pretty good gap. So that is fully welded.
Awesome.
That is all the way on there, sufficiently stuck. So now we just have to punch out the center.
Yeah, yep, just hog out the center with the hole saw here.
And that's a 2 3/4.
2 3/4. Yep, and it fits perfectly inside of here, so that's kind of nice guy.
Heck, you wouldn't even don't even need a pilot bit.
Nope.
Well, you have to weld in material for a pilot bit anyway. So we can grab, just as it sits right now, we can grab 3 bolt holes, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the third bolt hole, we'll probably have to drill a little bit of metal off the backside. But I think what this is kind of doing is like clocking the new hub a little differently than it was, but it's essentially in the same spot as the old hub was. And then with the plate that we kind of formed around there, this whole thing is now enclosed in the back of the trailing arm.
Killer.
Yeah, really, it turned out awesome. Good work.
Yeah. So the second one's probably going to be more of the same.
Sweet.
Hopefully it turns out just as good, because this is looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, looks awesome.
All right, so at this point we have 2 arms, both fully welded. They're all the way around, gaps are filled. They're boxed back in where the missing material came out to kind of match the contour. The only thing left for these then I'll punch out the centers. So we got our 2 3/4 inch hole saw.
Yep.
And Taylor is gonna go to work here, hogging these out.
All right.
Wrist broken in 3, 2.
Don't even.
Seems like it stopped cutting. It's still sharp.
Already burning up drills, James.
That's all right. The nice one's under warranty, and that one is cheap.
Garage sale special.
Yep. If the drill starts smoking, we'll stop.
Okay. Man, how close are we?
Well, the arms are all welded up. We made it through one hole. We hogged out this one side. Let me see if I can flip you around. Yep, we hogged out one side. We made it most of the way through before we smoked all 3 of my drill. Well, it's an impact. Drill, drill, drill. Yeah, we smoked all 3 of them. So that's wonderful. But yeah, we got it almost all the way through, and then just, it was to the point where we could wiggle with a hammer and then snap it off. So one of them's done. This one we're gonna have to finish up at a later date with a different drill. But yeah.
They look great.
Just about there.
Yep.
So we will pick back up at a later date from Taylor's garage once he gets the inside hubs bolted up, and the all-wheel drive things will continue. We have a crossmember to build for you too, correct?
Yes, for the diff.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Good deal.
At some point, weld that up, and
that's bolt in once you weld it up too, correct? It grabs all of the mounting points.
For the rear piece of it, the upper mounting point, that'll get welded into the chassis.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to Gappleton. We will see you next time.